Hey, it's Making Awesome. It's a bonus episode. Weird. Whoa. We did these once before. Was that bad? Come on, it was okay.
That was fine.
No, it was fine.
We
Roll
did
with
this,
it.
We did this once before when Tad was getting set up for his 3D printer, and we were actually going to release this on the, guess, is it? Well, no, it'd be the second to last Sunday of November. I guess we were planning on releasing this November 22nd, but I realized the episode that's coming out on the 22nd, we already recorded the number for it, so we can't switch everything and rework our timeline. So, bonus episode, that means we have to record double today. I'm really the only one here that I presume cares, because I'm the only one doing it for free. But it is what it is. I'm glad you guys are here with us. I got Tad to my left. I was gonna go the wrong way because my camera's reversed for me. Tad's to my left. I got Thomas below me. We're here, and we're gonna talk to you about the holiday season buying guide for 3D printing, because that's gonna be a big topic, right? Santa, or your version of it, might be requested to bring some 3D printers or some 3D printing accessories, and you may not know what the actual hell to get. There are so many options on Amazon, and good lord, some of them look like hot garbage, and some of them are absolutely hot garbage, yes. And some of them are okay. So let's kind of do the rundown.
Tell the difference?
Yeah.
Grant, I am a 15-year-old boy who would like a 3D printer. Where do I even start?
We had a 15-year-old boy. I should bring Brad back on as a callback. Hey, we need you here just for a little bit, and then I need you to go.
Grant, I'm a 16-year-old boy, and I would like a 3D printer for my version of whatever holiday for the holiday season.
Well, sir, I have heard you talk off camera. Do you kiss your mother with that mouth?
What should I even get, and where do I even
He's
start?
Just completely brushed you off.
Because when I search 3D printer on Amazon, it looks like there are all sorts of 3D printers that I could get that could print my favorite characters like Spider-Man and a horse. So when it comes to 3D printers, I'm looking at an Anycubic Mega S 3D printer. Upgrade FDM 3D printer with extruder and suspended filament rack, and free test PLA filament for $270.
It's probably an Ender 3, Tad. Can you verify that's basically a Creality Ender 3 for me?
What is it called? Cubic something?
It's
Anycubic
Mega X.
Anycubic.
Yeah.
S 3D. There's letters in it.
Oh, goodness.
It has 4.5 stars with 671 reviews.
Oh, maybe it's not actually that bad.
We got Billy Mays here talking about it. And, and honestly, here's the deal. Are you trying to ball on a budget and get your kid or get your significant other a 3D printer, and you ain't trying to break the bank? And you want to buy...
It's a Titan extruder, whatever that is.
Yeah, that's fine. That doesn't matter to me. Does it look like an Ender 3?
I don't know what an Ender 3 looks like. Let's see what the Ender 3 looks like.
I trust that you have the power of the internet and anime on your side.
On my side.
To find it.
Well, the Pope definitely does. Did you see that the other day?
I did not.
The Pope was in Japan. They gave him like an anime robe with his face on it. And
beautiful.
It's amazing.
Oh, wow.
It's hilarious.
Cool.
And he looks like over the moon.
Say what you will about the Catholic faith. A lot of it is unfortunately true. But we've had some pretty decent popes in the past 30 years.
The second to last one wasn't so good, but this one is pretty good.
Yeah, John Paul II still, in my opinion...
It's hard to beat.
Yeah, you can't beat him.
This kind of does look like a reality.
I would assume that it is, because the Ender 3 is it's either an Ender 3 or a CR10. What's the build size of the Anycubic? I can look this up, but I'm really afraid
I was going to say, Grant, you have screen. It's 8.27 by 8.27 by 807.
Okay, yeah, it's a it's an Ender 3.
It has a touch screen.
Whoa! One more thing to break.
I was about to say.
Just like my cell phone. So
nobody actually cares.
That's interesting. Did you look 3D printing or 3D printer on Amazon?
I think I just went 3D printer.
See, when I search 3D printer, the Creality Ender 3 comes up, which is really interesting.
Oh. Bezos is in my brain.
I do see the Mega Pro for 400. That is actually more like a Wanhao Duplicator i3. So that's a really old design. Actually, I can't recommend that, oddly enough. But here's the deal. Let's back up a little bit. We're going to break this up into a couple of different categories here. Are you trying to ball on a budget, fulfill a dream for little to no money? Or do you want to get something that's going to last? And if you say both, you're banished. Because in this industry, it's tough to get both. If you want it by your favorite holiday, unless that favorite holiday is like Valentine's Day, then yes, you can have it. If you're trying to ball on a budget and you don't need to have it for somebody to unwrap at their favorite holiday, the Prusa Mini from Prusa3D.com, so it's a Joseph Prusa printer, will be impossible to beat for the money. And we don't even own any yet. We are expecting Prusa to do his typical Black Friday, where they do free shipping on anything over $200. And if that's the case, I think we're going to buy 6 Prusa Minis, maybe 8. I haven't catted out to see how many I can fit on that disorganized shelf of disaster over there. That is full of resin prints that we need to finish for recording instead of me working. It's kind of work, but I get to talk to the boys instead. But the Prusa Mini is a really tough one to beat, but they're running like a 8 to 9 week backlog on it. So kinda sucks. But they do offer gift certificates, so you can wrap something, you can put it, you know, on a calendar or under a tree or a menorah, whatever your favorite. This is gonna suck for us just to say holiday the whole time, isn't it? It's gonna be tough.
We don't have to. It would be amazing if someone...
Festivus pole.
Yes,
I
your
like the
Festivus pole.
idea.
Where do you get
It's
that
a
at the
Festivus
Gentleman's Club?
for the rest of us.
They should have the Festivus poles at Gentleman's
You like
Clubs.
jazz?
I like the idea that there's like a Yule log, but all the gifts are just stacked underneath it like in a gross pile, and they just put the Yule log on top. And
Just
if
light
you
it
pull
all on
your
fire.
gift out and the Yule log touches the ground, then you lose all your gifts. It's a crazy fun game.
So what you're saying is I need to ask for pillowcases first.
Yeah.
So I
you
can
don't
wrap
wanna
the
be
Yule log.
Oh, trying to cheat the system here, Grant. No, when that touches the ground, definitively with a thunk, a Yule log
thunk.
holiday thunk,
Okay.
then your gifts all go to your younger brother or
Am I
sister.
able to pick up said Yule log?
Oh, if you want the use of your hands.
Yeah, because as Tad has just told us, if you
Well-
touch the Yule log in this game, your hands are removed.
Okay, well then I would.
Was that your foot or Peter's foot? That
I would.
with
Oh,
the
there's a
stump.
story here.
You remember the stump?
Really, really quick adjacent story. I poured a bucket of cold water on a very hot stump that we were burning in the ground, and it exploded, and I got a 3rd-degree burn on my foot, and all my skin came off.
Sexy.
And that's pretty much it. Well, because I was wearing flip-flops while doing it. Anyway, moving forward.
Remember, kids, when in doubt, get over here. Safety first.
Safety first. Don't wear flip-flops when doing that. I wish I could have 3D printed myself a new skin for my foot, but I could not.
Yeah, we don't have that kind of money here. But, you know, 3D printers are tough from Amazon. And the Prusa Mini for $400 is a pretty good value. But Making Awesome, I don't have $400. Well, then whoever gets the machine is going to be doing a lot of work.
Yeah.
If you don't want to spend $400 and you want to keep it under $400, the Creality Ender 3, as much as I detest Creality products, and it is not because they make an inherently bad product. They make a product that is built to a price point, and that is inherently bad. Right? They cut corners. There are things that could be better. Anyways, the Ender 3 from Creality is very, very hard to beat. You will not generally find a better value for a 3D printer than an Ender 3. We do recommend the Ender 3 Pro. because it has auto bed leveling. It's got a few more little extra features. I think the Ender 3 is going currently on Amazon for $206. Let me see Ender 3 Pro, what that's going for. Just so I can verify. They're normally like 260. Oh, 240. 236. So yeah, I totally recommend, if you're trying to stay under 400 bucks, the Creality Ender 3 Pro. Whether you get it from ComGrow, you get it from Creality, I don't care. That is, oh God, I'm yawning so much today. That is the printer if you're trying to ball on a budget. And that's got a 220 by 220 by 250. So that's 8.5 by 8.5 by 10. It's 250 10. Yeah, 250 10. 8.5 by 8.5 by 10 inch build area. Basically, it's 8.6 by 8.6 by 9.8, but whatever. For the money, it's not a bad machine, but the money that you could be spending on a Prusa Mini, you will instantly see that person use in their time. So if they're a tinkerer and this is a hobby for them, and maybe it's a kid or a significant other with a lot of patience, then yes, the Creality Ender 3 Pro may not be a bad machine. However, if you're willing to wait, the Prusa Mini. But Making Awesome 3D Musketeers, whatever we're going to be calling ourselves, I don't want an FDM printer. I want a resin printer. Well, Timmy, slow down. Do you understand the dangers of resin printing? No, you don't? Thomas, I was hoping you were going to come in there. That's okay. Whatever.
Yep.
What's
Grant,
the danger?
Grant, but I don't even understand that there could be any danger doing a resin print. What kind
I'm gonna
of
put it
inherent
straight in my
dangers-
mouth when it's done.
I would like to put that colorful piece of plastic when it's done in my mouth. What are the problems here?
So we've got a bit of an issue with resin printers. They are, first off, amazing and amazingly cheap. You can get an Elgu Mars right now for $190. And that's stupid. The machines are actually pretty darn good from our testing. The Prusa SL1, which we have a couple of them, are way better. But it's also 7 times the price. And is it 7 times the machine for a hobbyist? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The Elgu Mars 2 Pro, yeah, their naming scheme is kind of crappy, are both really good machines. But the resin, the UV photo curing resin, is dangerous to humans. It is toxic to humans. It is toxic to pets. It is toxic to most living things until it is cured. So if you're going to get a resin printer, you need to know whatever surface it's on is going to get destroyed. Go to the dollar store, get some cheap baking pans, and use the printer on that, because the first time you have a leak in your vat and it dumps resin all over your table, you're going to come back to us and say, "Thank you, Making Awesome. You were so helpful."
So, Grant, you're saying that in the same Amazon cart, if I'm going to be printing using a resin printer, I want to also order a bunch of baking sheets, the printer, materials that I would need for said printer, and also probably some sort of mask to be wearing while working with such
That would
toxic
generally
chemicals.
be a good idea.
Actually, so some people say you need to wear a mask. I kind of disagree.
If we're talking about kids, Grant, then they definitely need to wear a mask, and we need to
Probably.
say they
See,
have to.
You didn't see where I was going to go with this. You don't need to buy a mask because you should already have one.
That's
Ah,
true.
Oh,
ah,
yeah.
Because in this
Mask
current
up.
year,
Mask
Got
the frig
'em.
up. Got him. Exactly.
We're not out of this yet.
No, and we can only get out of this if we work together. And you people out there that are denying it, you're wrong.
Just
Fight
tell them
me.
to use a resin printer without baking
One-on-one
sheets and
me.
no mask.
You
Just
will
go
lose.
for it.
And I don't have all the facts, but I know some people, one that do, and I know a couple of people that aren't here anymore because of COVID. So y'all can go straight to hell, the ones that don't think it exists. Anyways, moving on from diatribes before I get too deep into that mess. Resin printers are awesome. We love them. But yes, when you are working on the machine, you need to be wearing gloves minimally. Gloves you can now get. You can get them on Amazon if you want, but honestly, you can go out to your local Walmart, Sam's, Target, CVS, wherever the hell you shop, you can probably find gloves. Get the nice nitrile ones. Don't get the crappy cellophane style ones that everybody hates. Those are terrible. Don't do that. The baking tins you can get from a dollar store. Don't buy expensive ones. Get the ones that are $1, because when they get all nasty, you throw them out in the sun, and then you either chip the resin off or you throw it away, and you don't care. Or you actually should be recycling it, because adding to landfills for no reason when you could be recycling is morally wrong.
It is.
Man, we are laying on the social
We're
justice
doing it
tonight.
today.
Oh, we
Yeah.
are.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, resin printers. The Elgu Mars. Yeah, no, you can't beat it. If you want to get a resin printer for a significant other, get an Elgu Mars. Period. If you want to get the 2 Pro, that's fine. The 2 Pro has better lighting and it has a mono screen. The screens on these machines, not the LCD that you touch, but the LCD that it prints with. And if you're wondering how they work, we have a whole video on what is 3D printing and the types of 3D printing out there, where we talk about it ad nauseum. So I'm not going to talk about it too much here. But that screen is a consumable. We actually had our first screen failure, I think, pretty sure. But the screens are pretty cheap. They're $30 for a regular LCD screen, which the standard Elgu Mars uses. The Mars 2 Pro uses a monochrome LCD screen, which does net you about 30% faster printing, and it should last a lot longer. However, it is considerably more fragile. If you drop the build plate on a mono screen, you will destroy it. I have dropped the build plate on our LCD printers more times than I care to admit. It always pierces the vat, which is a fun day to clean up, but I have not broken a screen that way. Thank the Lord. Because I am klutzy. And it happens, right? We're not perfect here. So, Elgu Mars is great. We recommend that machine. There's the Anycubic Photon. There are a couple of others out there. You should be looking to spend about $190. Now, a downside to those is that they're tiny. These things are 68 by 120 by 150. I think that should be their dimensional printing size. Of course, they give it to me in inches, and I don't care about that. But inches are 4.72 by 2.68 by 6.1.
So it's like half the build plate area. If
It
that.
is 1/8, I believe, of a
1/8?
standard FDM. Yeah, because
Never mind.
It's exponential.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, again, we have a couple of Elgu Mars, the regular Elgu Mars. Honestly, they're pretty great. I can't recommend them highly enough. They're pretty awesome. We do recommend them to people. Other machines that are out there. Let's talk about other resin printers. So they're all basically the same. So if for some reason you can't find an Elgu Mars and Anycubic Photon will work, they use the exact same software, they use the exact same resins, and the process is identical. If you have a little extra cash, we totally recommend that you get one of the wash and cure stations. Anycubic has their version of it. I think they just call it the Wash Cure. And the Elgu, I think they call it the Mercury. Let me make sure.
And you said that Prusa has one now as well, right?
Yeah, but honestly, the Prusa one is so expensive, I can't even recommend it for Prusa.
And there's just no benefit.
There is no benefit. Yeah, so the Elgu Mercury is $140 currently. It's a 2-in-1 wash and cure station. If you get an Elgu printer, get the Elgu Mercury. If you want a wash and cure, spoiler alert, you do. You want one really badly, because it removes you from touching the resin. You can take the entire build plate, put it into this washing machine, and as long as you have a washing fluid in it, isopropyl alcohol is recommended. However, isopropyl alcohol is incredibly difficult to find these days, so a lot of us use Mean Green. You can get it. It's $5 a gallon. You find it where you would find laundry detergent. That's where we find it at our local grocery stores. And it's $5 a gallon. And it works okay. Alcohol still works better, but if you use alcohol, it must be 90% or higher. The 70% alcohols normally have a lot of ethanol in them, and ethanol can melt your prints. It's damaging to it. It's also damaging to all the bearings and stuff inside of the wash and cure stations. But For $140, you are in for less than $400 for a really awesome resin printing setup. And it works really well. Those machines also have a curing station in them. So when you're done washing, you take it out, you let it drip dry, you take the wash tank out, you put the little carousel on it, you put the part on that, and it goes around and cures. We have the AnyCubic Wash and Cure. Ours has failed, so I cannot recommend the AnyCubic one. I can only actually recommend the Elgu Mercury. Now, we beat the crap out of ours, so that could be a reason, but it has failed for reasons I don't understand, like the buttons no longer work. I have to physically bridge connections on the motherboard, and that actually comes straight from AnyCubic themselves. Oh, well, yeah, you can still use it by bridging the connections on the motherboard. That's not what I want to do. I want a freaking thing that works.
You shouldn't have to.
Now, with all the resin printing that we do, and I say that when we have no resin printers running, we've been trying to record the Big Fusion 3 for a couple of days now with not great results. So I've been focusing on that rather than resin printing, but we do have a bunch of resin that we need to do. They're invaluable. We were using 2 different stages of ultrasonic cleaning and then a bath in alcohol. That is how we were cleaning previously. It took up half that shelf was our resin cleaning process. Now it takes up like 1 square foot. It's pretty awesome. And they're roughly the same size dimensionally in terms of their height, so they fit really well on a shelf together. Do note, the Elgu Mars and the Elgu Mercury, as well as the AnyCubic Wash and Cure, they lift up and off. It is not a door that opens, so you need to have vertical space above them to lift the covers off, or you will screw yourself. Yes, we learned that the hard way. Don't judge me.
You put them on the middle, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
And then realized very quickly we couldn't get it out. I'm like, well, crap.
Yeah.
Is what it is. Let's talk about raw materials. So we went through just, and look, this is a quick little thing. We're not going too in depth about it, right? Just kind of about what we recommend for the holiday season. So let's talk about filament.
Ooh, this is a good topic.
It's a great topic. And you know what? Hold on. If you're not balling on a budget and you really want to just go all out and get the best 3D printer for the money, if you have a ton of money, Fusion 3 F410, you can get it by reaching out to us at 3dmusketeers.com. We do resell the Fusion 3. We love those machines. We beat the crap out of ours. I don't have a print within arm's reach from the Fusion 3 that I can show off. That is not protected by an NDA, so we will do that another time. But a really, really, really nice 3D printer for the money. But it's 90 pounds. It's about $5,000 all said and done. And not everyone's honestly looking to spend that much. So the Prusa Mark 3S from prusa3d.com. Tad has one right behind him.
Yep.
We have 4 in frame right behind me. We at 3D Musketeers have 6 total. Tad has 1, so I guess we'll call that 7.
Yeah.
Even though I guess the company didn't buy that, you bought it with your own personal money because
It's worth it.
It's totally worth it. And if you have a little tinkerer in your life, the kit is awesome. And I always keep a manual handy because the instruction manual is so good
It's
on these
beautiful.
machines. Like, honestly, full color photos like that really get into the weeds.
You're never left guessing.
Make sure you read this thing cover to cover. There are some very important instructions right on the first couple of pages that if you don't read, you will find out very quickly that you've screwed up.
Yeah.
For those in the know, Haribo das mein Kinden froh. For those that aren't in the know, oh well.
You'll find out.
You'll find out. But great printers for the money. We buy all of ours as kits because it's a great way for someone new to the company to build it and learn all about 3D printing kind of the hard way, but also really the easy way, right? It will take about 12 hours to assemble, and assuming your family has pretty decent patience, it can actually be a pretty cool family thing to do, right? I mean, I think it would be. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it would be pretty cool.
No, that would be great.
Yeah.
Especially especially for a family with kids who are going to be using it.
And the Mark 3S can be had at $800 to your door. We recommend, so a lot of people love their textured build plate. If you add the textured build plate to a Mark 3S and ship it, you will end up paying a customs fee. From my experience, that is a $30 customs fee. To get the build plate shipped separately is about $12. It is cheaper to buy the textured build plate separately once you've bought the printer and ship it separately. Now, if Prusa does do free shipping for Black Friday, you might be able to beat that system, but I don't know. It has varied over the years. Let's talk, since we're on the topic of Prusa, let's talk raw materials.
Mm-hmm.
Prusament, 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 Prusament. It's like Gucci Gang, but not terrible.
Yeah.
Prusament is awesome filament, and we can confidently say that now that we've actually printed with it. We burned a full kilo of Prusament in 2 days. It was so good. We ran all the way through it. I love it. I can't recommend it highly enough. It is expensive. It's like $30 a kilo, and it's not made in America. It's made in the Czech Republic, so shipping can take some time. Prusa has been trying to stock it on Amazon with varying results. But it is great filament. We highly recommend
What's
it.
so good about it compared to some other filament that you would find? Because I really don't know. I'm
I know.
curious
Yeah.
as to
I
this.
know. I know
One of
you're
the
not
big
just.
things is
I know you're literally not just trolling. Tad, talk about it.
precisely controlled diameter.
Yes.
Okay.
To the point where there is a QR code that is laser engraved onto every spool. If you scan it with your phone, it will show you a graph that is taken multiple times per second of the diameter and concentricity of your filament
As they're putting it on the roll.
as they're putting it on the roll.
So the entire length of the roll, exactly what the
So it just
characteristics
has
of it are.
incredible consistency
Incredible
and attention to detail.
consistency.
Which is
Okay,
what you
I
want.
Gotcha.
I believe they promise plus or minus 0.03 millimeters, but often they're hitting 0.005 millimeters.
It's insanity.
5 micron run out.
So if you are a hardcore hobbyist, or let's say you're a really casual hobbyist,
If you're a filthy
it does
casual,
that will that matter to you? Like,
probably
how-
not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably not. A lot of these Chinese filaments have actually gotten pretty good. Before we get into the Chinese filaments, I want to mention a couple of other brands. We can't go without mentioning Printed Solid and their Jesse PLA line. Everything that they did for Brad. If you don't know who we're talking about, go back and watch episode 10. What the actual hell is wrong with you? That was one of our best episodes. Go back and, you know what? If you haven't listened to it or watched it, stop right now.
Exactly.
Go back to episode
Hit the
10.
pause button.
No, hit the stop button. Go back to episode 10 and listen or watch it now. You need to hear Brad's story. You need to hear all about him. Brad is awesome. He's been sending me photos of some of his prints today.
What's he doing now?
He's getting really good. He's getting really good.
It didn't
For
take
anyone
long at
that-
all.
No.
For anyone that did watch that episode or watched that episode and is now here or went back to watch that episode and now is replaying this, I just want everyone to know that Brad did in fact make a cinder block, and
He
it
did.
looks fantastic.
So at exactly 3 years to the day, and Brad did not know it was exactly 3 years to the day, he beat our record for the longest 3D print. Yeah.
Oh, did that beat the record? I didn't realize.
Okay, Brad cheated, and he will wholeheartedly admit that he cheated. He printed that cinder block at 5 millimeters per second. It weighs 300 grams. It took like 6 days. It was stupid. I mean, it took so long. And he used one of the new experimental Prusa slicer things, and he turned on ironing. Do that top surface. I don't know if you saw that top surface, Thomas. It is a mirror of how good that boy got that ironing down.
Is that what that does?
Yeah. So it's deliberately under extruding for the top layer, and it's doing a really thin layer. So it's doing like a 0.05 millimeter layer, and it's
Uh-huh.
deliberately under extruding, so it tends to drag the filament, right?
Mm.
And it works. It makes your top look like the bottom.
Yeah.
That
It's
is
pretty
so cool.
Yeah, except it
Yeah.
adds like tons of time onto your prints. We're gonna start offering once Prusa Slicer comes out with it, we will start offering it as an add-on for customers. But I think a lot of them are gonna find out that it adds a considerable amount of money to the job. But yeah, so everything that Brad did, we can't not mention Printed Solid and their Jesse PLA. If you happen to be looking for some Jesse PLA, we have to recommend the Brad's Orange. This is one of the OG spools that he made himself, and I know he wants me to print with this, but I don't think I ever can. It means too much to me to print with this. I'd rather buy another spool that's not like like I can see the little errors in the winding, and that's just cool, you know? I don't know. I
Do a
this
3D
is
scan of Brad and then print Brad in Brad's orange.
oh crap, we should do that.
I think we should 100% do that. I think
Alright.
that's the only
Next time I see
thing that
Brad,
you're allowed
next
to
time I
print
see
with that
Brad, we're
spool.
gonna do that since I have a portable 3D scanner. Next time I see Brad, we're gonna do it.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
That's content. That's content, Grant. That's what I want to see.
Us
That's
3D scanning a
perfect.
15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
And-
one that has a
and-
considerable place in this industry.
And he's also the latest Musketeer. Huh?
This is true.
yeah.
He's
This
the
is true.
latest Musketeer. Anyways, yeah, Printed Solid's Jesse PLA, really great material. All the filament that Printed Solid makes is actually pretty darn good. We do recommend it. We also recommend highly Atomic Filament and 3DX Tech.
I have a lot of atomic right now. I actually have a roll. Oh, where the heck is it?
You have that dark
Okay.
cherry from them, don't you?
This is like the candy
Oh.
apple red.
Oh yeah, it's
I don't know if you can
gorgeous.
see it. Oh,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's
I
got
think
like
we
little.
printed some stuff in that.
Yeah, it's got like little
good.
reflective speckles in it. Oh, it's so good.
And you will
Their
find
stuff is a little pricey though.
it is. It's like $30 a kilo.
Yeah.
And you will find a lot more options for color in PLA. Real quick on the materials, start with PLA. If this is going to someone that's never used a 3D printer, start with PLA. It is very forgiving and easy to print with. It doesn't give off any noxious fumes. It's actually kind of sweet. It smells kind of sweet.
Smells good. Well, because it's technically
It's
sugar.
corn syrup. It's corn syrup.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it smells like, some people say maple syrup because they're used to cheap maple syrup. Some people say waffles because, again, they're used to cheap maple syrup. Others say corn syrup, and they're basically right. Polylactic acid is corn-based. PLA is what polylactic acid is the acronym for. So, yeah, we do recommend Atomic. We love Atomic's Starry Night. That is one of my personal favorite colors, although Brad's Orange, I guess, is number one now and will always be number one. So our number two favorite color is the Starry Night from Atomic.
Oh, it's good.
And 3DX Tech, if you are, trying to hook up someone that does have some experience in this industry, maybe they want to print with something a little exotic. Not Joe Exotic. No. God, no. Yeah, we're in Tampa, and I happen to know people related to that whole thing, which is kind of weird.
Really?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Like related?
We will talk about this after, not on camera, but yes. Yes. I know, actually, people that were in the Tiger King show, personally.
Of course you do. Man, Florida.
You're an asshole.
It's not our fault that your state is as weird as it is.
You
I
We're
was
just
gonna
on
say-
the outside.
You do know Big Cat Rescue is like 25 minutes from my house, right? Carol Basket is like 25 minutes from my house.
Holy crap.
Yeah. I know people related to her late husband that she totally murdered. Anyways, that show is American trash at its best,
Dang
unfortunately.
it! That's gonna. I was just about to suggest that you should pitch to Carol to 3D print some tigers and stuff for her.
No,
And it would
No.
be like this crazy job, but now that you've trash talked her,
I don't like her.
we can't.
No, I
Ah.
don't like her. And we have something even worse out here. We have the Dade City Wild Things, which Yeah, just look up Dade City Wild Things and you'll see why. It's pretty bad. They have a real bad problem with cubs. Like they let you swim with cubs. That's not cool. Like that's
Mm.
no, that's bad. Anyways, moving away from tigers, lions, and bears, and dumbass Floridians, back into our topic here. Um, 3DX tech is awesome for exotics. Nylons, polycarbonate, although Prusament does have a pretty nice PC blend. That's a nice one. But nylons, carbon fiber filled, glass fiber filled, Ultem, if they have a printer that can do it, that's like
I was gonna
600 bucks a
say.
kilo. You can buy a 3D printer for what a kilo of Ultem is going to cost you. You can buy a nice 3D printer for what a kilo of Ultem is going to cost you. But 3DX Tech is awesome for all the exotics. So we do recommend if you're looking to challenge the 3D printer in your life, 3DX Tech is a great place for that. I wish I had a coupon code for them. Hey, Matt, give me a coupon code. The owner's name is Matt. Boy, I hope I'm right on that. I'd be embarrassing if I forget his name. I'm pretty sure it's Matt. Don't really care. Jonah, I assume you still work for them. Give me a coupon code. Anyways, Atomic is great. They don't do reselling. Otherwise, we would resell their filament, and they don't do coupon codes, so you're on your own. Atomic filament is awesome. It's made over the Pacific Northwest, isn't it? Isn't it made in Oregon?
I think
Or
so.
Washington, maybe? What's right below Oregon?
Right below Oregon's California.
Oh, maybe it's in Washington.
You don't know this side of the country very well. I can tell.
No, I don't really travel outside of Florida, especially now with my
There are
back
only
and
3
COVID.
states on the West Coast.
I don't know. My state seems to believe that your side of the country is full of communists.
I mean, maybe, but it's definitely not on fire like they say it is.
Well, it was on fire.
I mean, but from natural causes.
Yes. Chop is not as bad as, I mean, the little area of it is as bad as people say, but it's not all of Portland.
Yeah.
I want you to go over there and just take some weird photos for me of it.
Of weird photos.
Of Chop. I just want to see if it's as bad as they say it is. Because again, the news media is complete and utter garbage. Anyways, if you want a more affordable filament and you don't really care where it comes from, Zyletech. We actually do use their filament from time to time. When customers are more concerned about price than they are about quality, we do offer Zyletech as an option. That's not to say the filament is bad. We have highly tuned 3D printers that will give you better results with better filament. If you go to Zyletech.com and you use the coupon code 3DM, we'll have that in the description for you. You will get 15% off your entire order. So, great discount there. Their filament is really, really affordable. I think kilos of PET are like $18 and kilos of PLA are like $17 or $19. It's really cheap. And they don't have the greatest color options because they're clearly just getting it right out of China. But they ship from in the United States. It's not Amazon Prime, but it is still pretty cool. Now let's move over to some of the Amazon stuff because, yes, there's lots of filament options on Amazon. Some of the fun ones are your silk filaments. Silk filaments look dull until you print them, and then they look shiny and cool. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you didn't listen to us, you didn't go back and watch Brad's episode, you lying piece of garbage. Go back and listen, or specifically go back and watch it. Episode 10, figure it out. Because he shows off some silk prints in there. But silk filament it's really cool. It's only in PLA from what we've seen so far. But it is a little more difficult to print in. So start off with the regular stuff, move into the silk. Excuse me. Tad, let's talk about filled filaments real quick, since we mentioned it about 3DX Tech. You can get filled filaments on Amazon, glow-in-the-darks, and carbon fibers. Tad, why should they not do that?
Yeah, so the thing with, especially like carbon fiber, so carbon fiber, people are used to seeing it like woven, right? That's a lot of where its strength comes from. It's woven, and then it's impregnated with a resin, and then it's cured, and then it becomes this, solid material that has strength because it's a composite. It's
Yep.
the interaction between the resin and the fibers. If you're just kind of printing it layer by layer on top of each other, the fibers are not woven together, so you're not getting any really additional strength. You're getting maybe tensile strength in one direction, possibly, you
Hmm.
know, but you're not getting the same strength as, something that's actually made out of carbon fiber, purpose built.
Right.
So,
Right. Right. Yeah. And the you missed the one thing I was trying to tell people. It's abrasive. Carbon fiber and glow in the dark filaments are incredibly abrasive, and it will destroy brass nozzles. So you need to
you're
be
gonna need like
careful.
hardened steel or something.
You will eventually need a hardened steel nozzle, so you have to be careful about that. Let me just check something real quick here. Okay. Yes, you will need a hardened steel nozzle for that, and that is not something a newbie should be using. So brass is fine. Just glow in the dark is the same way because glow in the dark happens to be titanium dioxide. Generally, it is generally
Mm,
titanium dioxide. So you just have to be careful about it.
yeah.
So, um, Amazon filaments though, they vary. Right? Some are good, some are bad. Be careful. All right. Look for ones with good reviews. Amazon Basics used to have their own stuff. I don't know if they still do. It's okay. It's not great. Again, it's generic Chinese filament. The rainbow stuff, most people will like a lot. The gradient multicolored filaments are pretty awesome. They're anywhere between $22 and $30 for a kilogram right now. So look at that. You're paying basically the same that you would for an American made material. Then there are color change. So we actually have some parts here that are made with color change filament. This is the orange to yellow. So I am holding the bottom of it.
It
It
looks so good.
it looks gorgeous. This is for the Techstars Startup Week here in Tampa Bay. Their whole ideology was stronger together, but it is thermochromic, and you can see it turns yellow when it gets hot. And even where I was just holding it with my thumb, it's now yellow. Really, really cool filament. It's a little bit harder to print with, but I think it would, go pretty quickly. The fun trick you can do with that is just present them with the sealed spool outside of the packaging, so it doesn't tell you. Well, I guess there's a label on it that'll tell you that it's color changing. But most people won't figure it out until it's in the printer, and all of a sudden it's coming out a different color than what it is on the spool, and that's kind of cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
color changing filament's pretty awesome. Oh yes, Amazon Basics does have their own PLA. Dude, it's $21.
Uh,
What? I would buy Atomic for that price.
I was gonna say you can do better than that and get
Well,
better
if you're gonna buy
quality.
Chinese filament, go buy Xyltech, right?
Exactly. It doesn't
Yeah.
make any damn sense.
But I mean,
I guess people must do it, and
it's prime
probably just
shipping. It's prime
that's
shipping, right?
that's why. It's just the convenience.
Yeah, it is the convenience. So, I mean that kind of covers it, right? If you're looking outside of an FDM or SLA printer, give us a call. You
Yeah.
can call 3D Musketeers. I will most likely be the one that answers it, so we're happy to help you out. Um, if you have any questions, you can email us. You can email us at podcast@3dmusketeers.com. That goes directly to myself, Tad, and Thomas.
Yep.
So one of us will reply and help you out if you have any questions. Seriously, it costs next to nothing. Actually, it costs nothing to reach out to us. So let's do it. Any other things before we wrap this one up, boys?
Mm,
Dude, there's carbon fiber polycarb, a kilo of it on Amazon for $50. That's really cheap for polycarb and really cheap for carbon fiber polycarb. I might get some of that and try it on the Fusion
Are
3.
I guess a good way to wrap up would be: are there any like small creators making 3D printed things that are really cool that we should be buying for Christmas?
Oh,
like
crap.
stocking stuffers.
Yeah, like little stocking stuffers.
Oh,
like, are there any
probably
like
like on
like
Etsy or
physical
something.
parts.
yeah, like as someone, maybe you're not trying to buy a 3D printer, but maybe
You
you're
just
interested in getting 3D printed things or stuff
Yeah.
that's really cool that is 3D printed that you'd be supporting somebody with.
I mean,
I've
look,
seen a lot of cool stuff on Etsy.
Etsy's got a lot of cool
Mhm.
stuff, but guys, you're missing the point of the fact that 3D Musketeers does this too.
I was about to
Uh,
say.
yeah, they can reach out to us directly, and if you do mention this podcast, we'll make sure to kick you a 10% off code for that. So,
Well,
hey,
Grant, so you're saying if you can print all of the D&D minis that I need for my next campaign?
yeah,
And more.
Woo!
and they can be as
And-
dumb as you want. They don't need to be
Yes.
Marines that are in space, because I don't want Games Workshop to sue us.
The Marines that are in space.
I would say the gentleman that might be a part of Space Force.
Ah.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, we can totally do that though. Totally do that. And yes, there are going to be some great creators on Etsy. There's a lot of good Patreons out there. I know Brad subscribes to quite a few of them. I can ask him for a list of the Patreons that he subscribes to. There are a lot of great creators out there. Uncle Jesse on YouTube, Uncle Jesse for real on Instagram as well. He's not a creator, but he's a content creator. He's a YouTuber. He does a great job of highlighting like Focusment is his favorite. And they have like, you know, these Patreons that you can subscribe for like $8 a month, and you get access to all these cool files. So we do check out Uncle Jesse. Let him know that 3D Musketeers and Making Awesome sent you. Maybe he'll reach out to us. He'd actually be a pretty dope guest. But yeah, there are some great creators out there. Because we do basically everything on our own here in house, I don't know any off the top of my head, and I feel like a bit of a jerk for not knowing that. So, Thomas, if you want to take like, I don't know, a 15-minute peruse through Patreon and all that, if you find some stuff, let's make a list and we'll put it in the description of this episode.
Yeah.
Or chapter, I guess now. Bonus chapter didn't sound right, so we're calling it bonus episode.
It's a bonus episode.
Yeah. We could have called it a sub chapter. Damn it. No.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Wait, no, why don't we just call it a holiday special?
It already says
Oh.
bonus episode and we're done with it, okay?
Bonus holiday special
It
episode.
says bonus episode 3D printing buying guide holiday season 2020. And hopefully
Perfect.
all of that is spelled correctly, because if not, I can't change it. And somebody will say, oh, you spelled it wrong in the comments. But you know, that's okay. That's just an extra piece of engagement for us. So let the haters hate, yo. Anyways, this has been the very short, concise, because look, we're not here to feed you all this extra BS. We know no one's got a ton of money this year, right? Everyone's been hurt. A lot of people lost their jobs or worse, right? If someone in your life really wants a 3D printer, I think we made some pretty good low budget options for you. And if you want to get some 3D printed parts, please hit us up. And if you are on a really tight budget and this is for a holiday, let us know and I'll see what I can do. You know, we are a business at the end of the day, and yes, our goal is to make profit. But you know, a good Google review, telling your friends about us, telling your coworkers about us, telling relatives about us might be worth more than the $10 print. You know what I mean? So we want to help make sure that on the morning of your favorite holiday, when gifts are exchanged or they're unwrapped, that the people unwrapping them or receiving them are as happy as they could be. And, you know, we don't want to stand in that way. So I don't know. It's the guy in me that cares more about helping people than money, which a lot of business owners would give me the middle finger for and call me a communist. But I don't care. We got to stick together. These are some trying times out there, and
Ain't that the truth?
it's the freaking holiday season, okay? This is going to come out the day before Thanksgiving. We're going to release this episode the day before Thanksgiving. So I tell you this every episode. I'm going to tell you again. Call your loved ones. Remind them that you love them. Ask them about their week. No one talks to them all that much, I would assume. Be the one that does, you know? And especially right now, if you have elderly family members and you're going to go and see them, whether or not you should is irrelevant. Just be safe. Bring a phone with you that you can record conversations. talk to your grandmother or your grandfather about the dishes that their parents used to make, and talk to them about how, you know, it's evolved throughout their life. And then instead of getting a written recipe, you get a voice or a video recording of your grandmother or your grandfather or your parents or brother or sister describing it, and you will not regret that. That will be something that you will forever remember, especially in the, you know, sad event they might not make it, right? So, anyways, like Joel Telling says, love each other more. This has been a bonus episode of Making Awesome, holiday season 2020. It's upon us, boys. Let's spend all the money we don't have on people that may or may not appreciate it. But see, the cool thing for Tad and I is now that we have 3D printers, everybody gets something 3D printed.
Yep.
And Thomas, I'm sure we can work something out for you. You know, you've earned your cookie for this one, Thomas.
Yes! My 3D printed cookie.
So, Brad may or may not be doing something like that. And I may or may not have your address.
Oh, God.
You put it on your invoices, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty sure you do.
Do I?
I think you
I'm-
do. If you don't, I'm going to find you.
Yeah, I mean, I figure you'll figure it out one way or another.
I know your brother. I know where he
Yeah.
lives, too.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's get out of here. I think we've taken up enough of their time. 51 and a half minutes. That's not bad. That's not bad for an
It's not
episode.
bad for a
I said.
bonus episode.
Yeah, that we said. Well, let's cap it at 45 minutes.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
See you later. Have a happy holiday
Bye.
season.